Welcome back to another video, guys. Today is episode 4 or 5, I've lost count, of my Thanksgiving series, and today I'm going to bring to you a roast. This is going to be a pot roast, guys, the way that I do it. I typically don't like ham. I don't eat pork, so I'm still going to be making a ham for those of you that do, but this is another substitute if you don't want to do ham. You can do a nice roast for Thanksgiving or even Christmas. So here I have a chuck roast. You can use any size that you have. I forgot how much this weighs, but whatever. You're going to need celery and carrots, onion, tomato paste, chicken broth, preferably beef broth, but I only have chicken. You're going to need minced garlic, red wine, any kind of red wine that you have if you drink. I'm going to be seasoning my roast with onion and garlic powder. I'm using this oxtail and stew seasoning. I always use that. Black pepper, salt, and of course, better than bouillon. So let's go ahead and start seasoning. So the first thing you want to do is go ahead and season your roast and be very, very, very generous with your seasoning because this is a thick and big piece of meat. Don't be too scared to season. And then once you do that, just make sure that you're rubbing your seasonings on all ends. So sprinkle it generously with some salt all over the meat. Don't be afraid. Don't think it's going to be super salty because it's not, okay? So go ahead and sprinkle it generously with some salt and then go ahead and add black pepper to it all over. Do the same thing. Rub it in, flip it over, repeat for the next side. So pretty much season with all of your seasonings. So we're going to do that. I'm going to add the Jamaican seasoning to it. Very liberal all over it. Onion powder and garlic powder. All right, so I added my onion, garlic, and now always make sure you catch all the sides. So turn it on the sides and pick up all your seasonings from the tray to make sure every end of your meat is well seasoned. And that should be good. Once your meat is seasoned, you want to go ahead and preheat your pan. Preferably if you have a Dutch oven. This can also be done in a slow cooker. Totally up to you. I'm going to use my pot that my granny gave me. I've had this pot forever. And you're going to just sear it off on all sides. So I'm going to be doing this in avocado oil. So just go ahead and gently rest it down. Let it sear. We'll check back on it. Let's cut up the vegetables. So while that is searing, let's go ahead and clean our vegetables. So we're going to be using 3 carrots. You can use as much or as little as you want to. Make sure to wash your vegetables and clean them off. So peel your carrots. I know a lot of people don't do that, but I do. So go ahead and clean off your carrots and your vegetables. And you pretty much want to go ahead and just chop these up. It doesn't have to be uniform or thin. I just pretty much give mine like a rough chop like this, and that's good to go. And we'll repeat the same thing for your celery. Just wash your celery and give it a rough chop, and then we'll repeat the same thing for our onion. Now your onion definitely don't have to be small, so I typically cut mine down in 4, cut it in half, and then cut it again, and then I leave them like that. So you just go ahead and pull the skin off, and that's about it. You take off that first layer. That's what I do, and yeah, that is about it. So that's all the vegetables that we're gonna need. Let's check back on the roast. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a turn, and you see that nice sear that you're getting. We want that for both sides, so go ahead and sear it on that side. And then what I like to do, I like to hold mine up and sear each edge of the roast. So you can go ahead and do that also. Once the other side gets seared, just turn it to the side, hold it with your tongs or whatever you're using. Just sear off all ends before we jump to the next step. So both sides are seared now. I'm gonna just sear off the edge. As you can see this nice crust. That makes sure that it's seared. So once that is done, go ahead and take it out and let's just start working on everything else. Don't be alarmed, your pot is very hot. Yes, we know that it's not burning. You need all those bits. So just add your carrots and everything in. One carrot got to get away. Then season it up and then stir it up. In that, go ahead and have a tablespoon of fresh garlic. And then mix everything up. Guys, we want the bits to the bottom. So while you mix it, that's flavor. So don't even get bothered by that. That is all flavor at the bottom there. So go ahead and just use your spoon and pick up the bottom pieces. And let it all come together. Once that is seared, you want to go ahead and add some tomato paste. I'm adding about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste into it. I'm using a 16-ounce can, so just use the whole can. A 6-ounce, sorry. A 6-ounce can. I'm just going to use the whole can. And then mix everything in. Let it absorb the flavor. Again, pick up the bits from the bottom. Then I'm also going to add a tablespoon of my Better Than Bouillon roasted beef base. That gives such a good flavor to it too. And then we're just going to let this sear off for a little bit. Everything comes together, guys. You want to go ahead and pour in about a cup of red wine. And whatever kind of wine that you're using, I'm using the Stella Rosé Red. So this one. And then we're going to let this reduce for about a minute or so, just to cook out the alcohol. And then after a minute, go ahead and add your stock. Again, preferably beef stock, but I only have chicken, so that's what I'll use. Now at this point, it should have a lot of flavor, so we're going to go ahead and season it. I'm adding garlic powder, onion powder, some black pepper. I'm adding a little bit of beef bouillon seasoning to it, not too much. About a tablespoon of beef bouillon and some basil, and I'm using dried basil. Now once that starts to bubble and simmer like that, we're going to add our roast back into this, and then we're going to put our roast into the oven at 350 degrees for about 3 hours, depending on your oven. I have a roast setting. If you do have a roast setting, do that. If not, 350 for 3 hours is totally fine. Not a big deal. So we're just going to go ahead and put this juiciness back in like this. And you don't have to do this, but I prefer to put the vegetables on top. Submerge it in the sauce or the juice, and it's gonna go in the oven. So here's our roast after about 3 hours in the oven. It is so tender, as you can see. It should be falling off the bone if there's any, but it should be fork tender like this. Let me go ahead and pull it out and show you guys what it looks like. All right guys, so here it is, finished and out of the oven. And it's so tender and delicious. Hope you guys see it. And let me know if you would try something like this on Thanksgiving or even Christmas. And let me know how you like it. Now let me show you how tender this is. Let's go ahead and look and see how tender this is. And let me bring you in for a close-up shot. Look at this. It's literally falling apart. Literally melts in your mouth how tender that is. And you can serve this alongside, I'm going to show you some mashed potatoes or whatever you want to serve it with. It's so good. So I do hope that you guys like today's recipe. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Share my videos, guys. I'm trying to get my channel monetized, so help a sister out. And until next time, peace.